Okay, this could be the last time I talk about Halo for a long time. I released a video several days ago about how I was somewhat optimistic for the future of the franchise. This video was intended to be sort of a response to the sensationalism and hyperbole that seems like such a constant on news feeds and YouTube. See, I had a few reasons for believing that Halo isn't over. The entire fates of the franchise, in my mind, rested on Project Tatanka, and whether it was running on Slipspace or Unreal Engine. This was the Battle Royale developed by Certain Affinity, supposedly releasing maybe in the next few months. Now, if it ran on Slipspace, it would be an indication that the engine is fixed, that Halo Infinite can finally begin to receive substantial and consistent updates. 343 had solved all those problems. New content, new modes, new ways to bring back the old player base and new players in. However, if it ran on Unreal, then Halo Infinite in the Slipspace engine, it's a lost cause. Tatanka wouldn't be releasing potentially for years, and the only way this could happen is if something had gone so terribly wrong that 343 decided the best course of action was to scrap this whole thing while it was well into development. Now, this just kind of seemed unrealistic to me, so I decided, weighing these odds, I'll make a video that's a bit of hopeful optimism. Not because I love Halo so much, but because it seemed like the most realistic outcome. But clearly, I was wrong. Now, I don't intend to make these videos a regular thing. I don't want to be a reactionary news channel, but in this case, when I put out a video called Halo Isn't Over, I kind of have to set things straight. So I'm just going to kind of rant, minimal editing. I got a bunch of other videos I'm working on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So Jason Schreier dropped a new report on the current state of 343 and Halo Infinite in Project Tatanka by Certain Affinity. While reports can be wrong, Schreier generally isn't. So I'm going to take this as mostly fact. There's been some debate between Halo content creators of is he right, is he not right, but I'm gonna say with Schreier's track record, I trust this. So what Jason reports is that Slipspace engine is still messed up. It's still a complete disaster ruined by technical debt. While clearly 343 has been trying to fix some of these issues, it's not enough. And game modes that were planned for Halo Infinite can't get into the game simply because the engine is in that bad of a state. 343 has known about Slipspace issues for a while and has been messing around with Unreal Engine for actually a long time, but it wasn't until Bonnie Ross and Slipspace Engine's lead David Berger left in late 2022 that 343 moved over to Unreal. This includes Project Tatanka, the battle royale that was originally reported to be planned for Halo Infinite. There may be future Halo games on the way, possibly using Unreal Engine, but in short, 343 is starting over. And if this is true, it's big, and I believe it's true. I really wouldn't have guessed that things were this bad. Well, maybe a week ago, but not after I tried to be all optimistic. This is just scorched earth, basically canceling the only thing that offered any promise to revitalize Halo Infinite and potentially pushing it back years. While Schreier doesn't give any exact dates here, the implication is that Tatanka would have moved to Unreal Engine in late 2022. I don't know how much of the development could easily be moved over to Unreal Engine. I don't know how long it would take, but at best, Tatanka is probably not releasing in 2023, maybe not even in 2024. It sounds like this project is going to be more ambitious than simply a battle royale. I don't know if that's going to include a new multiplayer, but I do doubt we'll ever see a story-driven campaign. As for Halo Infinite, this is kind of the nail in the coffin. Sure, the servers aren't just going to go offline, people are still going to play it, but it removes any potential of it as a long-term live service game. Season 3, Season 4, they'll probably release on time, as expected. I wouldn't be too shocked if the game continued to receive updates for a few more years even, but I don't think anything can be that substantial of an update, just given the state of the engine. We'll probably just keep getting stuff for long enough to keep fans engaged until Tatanka is finished. There is just, ironically, a limit to what Infinite can offer, and I assume this is why Forge was built in the first place. It's possible this wasn't even a sign that the engine was necessarily getting better, but it was just a way for developers to quickly and easily create new content and maps in-game. Going forward, this is probably going to be something of a hiatus for the Halo franchise. It's difficult to imagine Tatanka will be anything but a spiritual reboot for the franchise, even if it's under the guise of a spin-off, which might not even be the case. Beyond that, I just don't see any need to offer some retrospective of how we got here or a post-mortem of 343 Legendary or Halo Infinite. It's been covered to death by every person who's talked about Halo. I don't care anymore. I just had to make this video because otherwise I'd look stupid if I didn't. And there's not really even a ton to speculate on. If all this comes to fruition, it's just kind of all laid out right there. They're gonna try again, this time on a new engine. I think it's the right decision in the long run, but I can't say I'm hyped for another Halo installment. Like, come on, just let Master Chief sleep. Just let him go to sleep.